Howdy, fellow bodies. Welcome to Dise and Bodily's Voice, an audiobooks podcast. Today, we are reading part 6 of 12 of Stories End. Listener discretion is advised. Enjoy. That night, it was much the same, except Tulsa and I knew what to expect this time. During the day, we spent most of the time sequestered in the room we shared now, trying to get more of the sleep we missed out on last night. Nobody bothered us, aside from bringing us subpar meals, which we barely ate. We didn't see Kit again either. I rolled over in bed to face Tulsa, who was staring at the ceiling. She was sleeping with a pink silk cap on tonight. The silk glistened in the faint blue light coming in from the window, which silhouetted her long, crooked nose and full lips. A soft stroke of light gently rested on the high point of her cheek. I reached out to caress her chin. Then she grabbed my hand and rolled over to face me with a small smile. She placed my hand behind her head. My heart was pounding, not out of fear, but excitement. I couldn't tell if the heartbeat I felt was hers, mine, or the footsteps of the monster roaming the hall. I knew how to kiss someone. I'd been doing it my entire adult life. But I'd never kissed a girl. Was it different? What about Brantley? What about him? I hadn't seen him in so long. We had been just too busy for each other. He probably thought I was ghosting him anyway. I returned the steady, warm gaze Tulsa was giving me. My thoughts stilled like dust settles after the wind moves along to bother another pile somewhere else. We may die tomorrow, or the next day, or the next. What did anything outside of this building matter when our mortality was in the foreground? I'm not a cheater. I have never cheated. Yet, I so badly wanted to. Tulsa stirred something in me that boyfriends prior never had. They felt like friends that you kiss because that's what you're supposed to do, not somebody you kissed because you wanted to. I closed the gap between our lips, pressing firmly, yet gently. The hand that wasn't behind her neck slid out from under my body to wedge itself under her waist. Though her hands were cold, the rest of her was pleasantly and comfortably warm. She tasted like toothpaste, and she felt like a dream. More kisses accompanied the first, falling on cheeks and foreheads in the bleach-scented darkness, until Tulsa pulled away with a big smile. "I didn't know you liked girls too," she teased, poking my cheek playfully. "Me neither," I chuckled, gently swatting her hand away. "I think this hellhole will be almost pleasant if I can be with you through it all." Tulsa sighed dreamily, closing her eyes. "I think so too," I whisper, pitting my guilt over betraying Brantley and my giddiness about Tulsa against each other in my mind so they could duke it out while I slept. Perhaps a winner would rise in the morning, whatever the morning brought with it. Tulsa is a friend I kissed because I wanted to. "We got roommates who are definitely not fucking," Kit screeched raucously, bursting into our room and letting the door slam into the wall with a loud bang. In her hand, she held 2 laminated name tags on long black lanyards that swayed in unison. Tulsa and I leaped upwards out of the bed, and unfortunately, since I was sleeping on the side of the bed that wasn't against the wall, I fell out of bed. "Fucking hell, Kit," I yelped, rolling onto my back and propping myself up on my elbows. "Do you not know how to greet people normally?" "Yeah," grunted Tulsa, standing up and stretching. As she did so, her shirt lifted and exposed her midriff. "Whatever happened to good morning?" Sensations from last night surged back to memory as I caught sight of her warm brown skin. I blushed bright red. Oh my God. I kissed a girl, I thought, staring into the void as I replayed the kisses in my mind. Tulsa nudged me with her foot. "You listening? We get to shower." Tulsa beamed, looking down at me. My mouth dropped open. Nothing had changed about either of us. We were still the scared, confused people we were yesterday, except I think I want to worship her. I want to grovel at her feet. I want her to step on me. Ooh, that's a new one. Where did that come from? I kissed a goddess last night, and I think I want to do it again. Aren't they, communal showers? I stammer, blinking a few times to pull myself from a libido-induced spiral. Kit laughed. "Oh, not since the renovation." "But I do miss those days," she mused, cradling her chin with her hand thoughtfully. "Oh, I almost forgot, Kit then cried, holding out the lanyards to us. Here's your name tags. You'll get uniforms after the thingy, and then we can get you two settled upstairs. Tulsa and I grab our lanyards. They have our names on them in big black letters on a little white card. The thingy? I ask, tamping down the panic I had briefly about sharing a shower with someone I had just kissed. Oh, you know, the thingy, Kit said, waving her hand in the air dismissively. I forget what it's called. You forgot? Tulsa asked incredulously, raising an eyebrow critically. Don't judge me. I've got a lot on my mind, Kit hissed, stepping backward. We gotta hustle, girlies. Let's go. Tulsa and I stared at Kit, waiting for her to leave the room so we could get dressed. She didn't budge. Her bright eyes flicked between Tulsa and me. Ahem. I gestured with a shooing motion towards the door, trying to politely tell Kit to fuck off without saying it. Ugh, I've seen people get dressed before. There's no need to be so modest about it. Kit rolled her eyes and stomped out the door, shutting it quietly behind her. I kneel on the ground, checking to make sure she wasn't standing outside the door, before standing up again. She's gone, I whisper, making my way to the bathroom to change. Tulsa nodded and started to change before I even got into the bathroom. I hurriedly shut the door, hiding my burning red face from Tulsa, though I couldn't hide it from myself. My bashful reflection in the oxidized mirror mocked me. You're gay, it seemed to say. Gay, gay, gay. I tried to distract myself by getting dressed and brushing my teeth, avoiding looking myself in the eyes as I did. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I kissed a girl. Tulsa knocked on the bathroom door. You decent? Need to brush my teeth. I opened the door and moved out of the way so Tulsa could get to the sink. I spat and cleared my throat after rinsing my toothbrush and sliding it into its travel case. Look, I hesitated. I don't actually know what to say. I don't even really know how I feel. There's so much going on right now. I don't want things to be weird between us, I said as Tulsa spat. I like you, and I like kissing you, but I don't know what that looks like in here for the future. I mean, I forced a pained smile. At least I got it all out. Well, some of it. The important stuff, anyway. Tulsa tapped her toothbrush on the edge of the sink and put it away in her bag. She smiled at me sympathetically and grabbed my hand. I completely understand. We can take things as they come. We don't need to rush into anything. I had fun last night, and I want to continue to have that kind of fun. With you. I like you too, she said, giving my hand a comforting squeeze. I let out a shaky sigh of relief. Thank you. I return her smile, then take her name tag from off the bed and drape it over her head and around her neck. She kissed my forehead and did the same for me. Let's go find out what happens next, she said, and with that, we slung our bags over our shoulders and left the room for the last time. We lined up in the hall, facing the gouged doorway. The men from the other hall were also there, looking sparse and less jovial than they had before. I saw a few people I recognized. The guy that had been wearing the Ghostbusters shirt on day one was now wearing a bloodied version of the same shirt. I winced, dreading to find out how it got that way. He would, no doubt, be the type to announce it loudly. Winsley cleared his throat loudly so that we would quiet down. Tulsa and I were already quiet. We didn't have much to say to our hallmates. Those who had gotten involved in the scuffle in the hall yesterday and survived the night were bruised and shells of their former selves. It looked like the fight had been beaten out of them. Literally. I must have missed that happening on the security footage. Listen carefully. I will only say this once, Winsley yelled above the din, which settled down immediately. Beyond this door is the next step in your assimilation into our mission. If you survive, you will become one of us, and be granted abilities far beyond your comprehension. The crowd stirred, though not from Winsley's oration, which he had clearly put a lot of thought and practice into. We stirred because Charlie was making his way down the hall, waving and smiling like a movie star at all of us. We were not in the mood to fawn over him today. This steely silence in the room didn't seem to deter him, and his also very practiced act. I watched Winsley, who sidled away with a covert snarl. He muttered something under his breath that I didn't hear, but Charlie seemed to. Charlie shot him a look with eyes flashing a feline green, full of malice, and packed to bursting with threats. Gentlemen and ladies, what occurs next will determine the course of your life from here on out. It will be excruciating, but trust me when I say, I don't give a flying shit. You aren't special. I looked sideways at the person behind me, who started to cry into their hands. What in the world? Normally, I would comfort them. Normally, I would fight back. But I had the fight beaten out of me too. I couldn't do what I would normally do, because I was not in a situation I would normally be in. I'm fucking done with this weak-ass group, Charlie grumbled. But I have to at least lead you to the next step. With this, he turned his back to us and gripped the pull handle on the door firmly. It glowed blue, and he pulled it open without much effort. The door rolled open to reveal another hallway, though this one was reminiscent of a doctor's office. The walls were painted bright white, and the floors a glossy linoleum. At the end of this hall was a stairway that snaked up to another level that could not be seen above our heads. I reached for Tulsa's hand, whose fingers were already spread wide, ready to receive mine. Her cold hands had a way of wordlessly assuring me that everything would be okay. I hope that's what I was telling her with my hands, too. Out of a room labeled lab, a wiry man with a tall forehead and thinning hair stepped back into the hall with a smart clack of his shiny black shoes. Morning, everyone. I am Dr. Spinelli. I will assign your rooms, in which you will be given an injection. Then after you recover, you will be sent upstairs for further instruction, he said almost sleepily, pulling out a clipboard and walking down the line, gesturing to each person in the line as he passed. My stomach nodded, and I let go of Tulsa's hand. He looked up from them, nonplussed. 5-story, 6, Tulsa, then continued onward. I'll see you upstairs, I whisper as Tulsa and I part ways at our assigned doors. I'm afraid that maybe I won't. Thank you for listening to part 6 of Story's End. If you enjoyed what you've heard, please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already. Have a lovely evening.